everybody. Welcome to Strand podcast, man. Caught me off guard just for a second there. Hey, just wanted to give you guys a few updates of what's going on. Welcome to today's show. It's going to be a little short one, but, I had some updates to give you guys, and there's a lot of things have been happening lately, and it's kind of crazy how, we don't get to talk about those too much, but, man, just so many things have been changing here on this platform. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things being held back, and I don't know if you guys can see me now, but if you guys can, we're going to be making some changes, all right? And people that are listening out there live right now on audio, hey guys, if you are listening, we're just, we're going to have to probably just on our video podcast. I just wanted to give you guys an update. We're going to be going on X, Twitch, we're going to be on Rumble, we're going to be on YouTube, and a few more other channels, and that's about it. We're going to go ahead and take Facebook completely off as far as our live podcast. We keep on getting flagged for stuff that it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why, but hey, I don't make the rules here, they do. So it's just one of those things. You're going to have to catch us on YouTube, all right? So if you guys are faithful listeners here on Facebook, go on YouTube, go check us out there. Give us a listen there or a watch and just see what's going on, There's been a lot of things been happening, since our last podcast. Now, the podcast I had the last few days ago was with Miss June DeYoung, and then we talked about Lear 51, Alien Heads, things like that. It was a really good podcast. That was an audio podcast, all right? By the way, it was not on video or anything like that. It was just audio. So if you guys want to go check that out, that's going to be on audio. I just released it today. Now, people that were on Patreon, they're paid subscribers, they got to hear it first for a few days. We just released it today for free on this platform, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify. All these other platforms, you'll be able to see it, listen to it for free. It's a listen. You go ahead and download the Patreon app, right? Download that app, and then, just go to Alien Strand Podcast. Check us out there. You'll see this audio podcast we had. It's about 45 minutes long to an hour, but it was a really great podcast, and she gave a lot of insights on Lear and a lot of things that happened, You can even, there's even a preview. You can kind of grab about 5 minutes of it for a preview if you want to listen in on it. If it sounds interesting to you, whatever, go check it out. Give us a like there on Patreon, right? That's just one of those things, man. We have to get it out there. It's just, what can you say, man? We're just trying to push this information as much as we can. She did have a lot of insights. I hope you guys caught it. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go live or anything like that. The only live we're going to be doing, like I said, YouTube, right? X is going to be on Twitch and all those other video platforms. Unfortunately, it's going to probably get cut off here. We're not going to be able to do it here, so please catch us on all those other video platforms. You'll be able to catch us all there. I'm going to have to wing it down here a little bit because it's too much red tape, right? And it's just for nothing. I don't even see why. It's stupid, to tell you the truth. But anyway, catch our Middle Tetralogy. It's out there. Please go check it out. The middle part 1, part 2 is out. I'm almost done with part 3. That one's going to be almost out and ready to go. I'm going to have to hold it back, though, because part 2 is still not out on Amazon Prime, all right? So we're going to hold that back just a little bit longer, and then we'll release it to you guys, all right? Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. We have to do those kind of things in order to we got to make sure you see part 2 before I can even release part 3, all right? Make sure to catch us on Alien Strand Disclosure Project. There's no I in team. Go check us out there. Now, man, I don't know if you guys caught it today, but there was an earthquake. There was a freaking earthquake, man, and in Idaho, right? And there's been a lot of talk that there's been some earthquakes out there in Yosemite that's been happening. Of course, they always have these smaller quakes, right, that happen, and we never get a chance to see where or how it's coming through or where they're coming from, right? And so when Betsy Lewis, I saw her post this earlier, and thank you, Betsy, for that. She's an amazing person, and she posts a lot of good stuff on ufology and of everything. I see a lot of her posts that come through, and she says that a 4.9 earthquake hit 50 miles north of Boise, Idaho. Idaho, right? Yesterday, about 10:25 a.m., right? She says about 41 years ago, the largest earthquake recorded in Idaho hit in Chalice Fall, Idaho. The Bora Peak earthquake, which was a 6.9 magnitude earthquake, right? This was 20 years ago that one happened. But this one, just 4.9, happened yesterday, right? So it says early yesterday morning, I was thinking, she says, about an earthquake in Idaho. And she looked at the fireplace mantle and thought about, the pottery vase and how fast, if I could catch it if an earthquake happened, right? She says. She goes, well, I guess I had a premonition of one, she says. A 4.9 earthquake was detected at 10:25 a.m. near Smiths Ferry, Idaho, right? Just 47 miles outside of Eagle and 50 miles north of Boise. Through the earthquake was the centered 5.5 beneath the Smiths Ferry. Some felt the ground tremble across the Treasure Valley, with National Weather Service even reporting a minor shake at the airport office, right? So, these are the things that are happening out there that we don't understand, right? Are there some major changes happening out there, that we just need to kind of look at, right? And that's what I'm here today, to kind of give you a little bit of awareness of the possibility of what could happen, right, out there. And it's kind of scary, right? And that's a scary thing to even think that we can have earthquakes. But hey, man, it's all over the place. Like I said, especially there in Yosemite, things like that. Now, they said the initial quake soon preceded by a few aftershocks about 10:46 a.m. Minutes after the initial quake. And about 2.7 aftershocks were detected in the area, followed by 2.5 and then 2.8 at noon, right? So it was still kind of trembling around the area at that time. And, it's we never think about these things. And, and it's basically, it's in our front door, right? All this is literally at our front door. Now you think, well, they're 1,000 miles away from me. They're 3,000 miles away from me. What's it gonna do, right? It's not gonna hurt me any, right? Well, Nevada, actually, they're starting to have, they've been having quakes up there as well, right? And they're getting hit pretty good, man. As you see here, the ground is cracking, roads are opening up. And it's just one of those things we just don't think about. I mean, like a what-if scenario, right? I mean, we all saw the movie Dante's Peak, things like that. Hey, that's something that's a possibility of what can happen if an earthquake or something majorly erupted from underneath, because what causes this to shift under our feet, right? It's the tectonic plates that are underneath that end up doing that, and then we have major areas of change, right? So, and of course, our highways and roads, they get destroyed. Sometimes, unfortunately, people get hurt in a lot of these quakes, unbeknownst to them. They don't know that something occurred up the road when you're driving. You don't feel it, man. You're in a car. You're not going to feel this stuff, right? So, and what if the ground just gave way a mile or two in front of you, and you just happen to just go over, right? And that's what happens, and that's the unfortunate areas of that, right? So, and then of course we've been getting a lot of red flags from that area that, hey, something's brewing in that area. Now, if Yosemite ever blew, that's one of the biggest fault lines that there is out there, right? But if it ever blew, we'd all be in trouble. Everybody. I mean, everybody. It's not one of those little things, oh, it'll just be in that area. No, that's going to affect everybody. It's huge, right? So these are the things we have to pay attention to. And, I know I'm not talking about UFOs and things like that, but I think this is important as well, because when you see tectonic plates, the shifting of the ground, you do see lights and lightning up in the sky, or something that's lighting up when this event happens, right? So when it does happen, it does make like a lightning or some kind of shifting in the clouds in the sky, especially at night. A lot of people will say, hey, man, there was a UFO flying over there or something like that. Sometimes it does, UFOs are in those general areas, right? Because of the the shifting that happened previous, right? And there's a lot of energy that happened, maybe a field of some sort. You know how maybe when you rub two things together, maybe two balloons, you get that static electricity. Hey, it's the same possible thing that could be happening above our atmosphere when this happens, right? And it makes that lightning. People don't really know that, but usually when there's an earthquake or some kind of shifting of tectonic plates, there's going to be a light, a flash of some sort up in the sky. Now, like I said, this might indicate that there might be heavy UFOs in the area that might come, right after that or before this. So just kind of keep your eyes on the sky in this when all this is happening, and just kind of be vigilant, but be aware at the same time, right? So the map I'm showing you here is a U.S. fault line, right? And these are areas of shifting of tectonic plates that are happening under our feet every day, right? So if you notice, there's some here in Texas and East Texas. There's of course a lot in the major ones in California, and then way up there in Idaho, what do you see? Major, right? Major. So they just had something major go on in Idaho, right? Yesterday. And so it's, even Wyoming and Montana, it's all up in that area. Even on the East Coast, if you're looking there, Mississippi, Georgia, it's all in that area too, going straight up all the way to the East Coast, all the way to New York and North Carolina, South Carolina, all the way up there, New Hampshire. All right. So these are the areas where you're going to see a lot of activity of earthquakes and things like that. So my thing is it a possibility that, I've showed these maps before, but not of earthquakes, but I've showed them of other things. So is there a possibility that, because I have a friend, her named Cindy Grigsby over there in Missouri, and she catches a lot of activity above her house. Now, if you look in that general area, there's a lot of fault lines there as well, right? I'm not saying that it's the static electricity or not, or anything like that, but is this an attractant to them, to the extraterrestrial craft that can be following these fault lines? You know what I mean? So we have to think about those when we're watching a lot of these fault maps as well. It could be a guide to tell you where a lot of this high activity of UFOs and UAPs that we're seeing up in the sky. Now, I know a lot of it happens up there in Florida, things like that. You don't see no tectonic plates there in that area, but there is a lot of, if you look at the lines all in that general area, that's where you see a lot of it. So, but this is what I'm just kind of overthinking this, is this a possibility to where a lot of these UFOs are being, where we're catching them in the sky, right? In these general areas. Now, like I said, it might be a mapping of some sort. These are just our fault maps of our tectonic plates that are underneath that are shifting, right? So you got to think about this. These are the general areas of this. And when it does this, like I said, it does make some kind of a lightning strike, or it looks like lightning up in the sky. I don't know if you've seen it right before an earthquake. It always happens. Even it's at night, you start seeing lightning. And even when a volcano, what happens when a volcano blows? Boom! Lightning everywhere, starts shooting everywhere. Usually before that, we start seeing UFOs come in and out of these volcanoes, right? So all I'm saying here is, just kind of be aware of what's going on. We are having a lot of activity as far as these fault line areas that are moving. And we possibility could be seeing something that's coming, right? And everybody's been having this itchy finger thing, like, hey man, I feel something's coming this year, something's coming. I'm not here to scare anybody or do anything like that, but just kind of be aware of the maps in the general area of what's happening right now. And I just thought that grabbed my attention right away, and I figured it should grab your attention as well, right? So just kind of be aware of what's going on and around everything around you. Kind of, in other words, look around, do some research in yourself on your cell phones and Google and things like that. Now, if you look right here at the USGS, it actually shows you, it tells you the most recent earthquakes that have been happening, right? So, of course, you see down there in South America, right there here in Texas, you see them there in Texas, all the way up to, California, all those general areas are actually experiencing a lot of earthquakes, and these are the fault lines. I'm going to zoom it in just a little bit so you guys can see it just a little bit. Now, I don't know if you see where it says right there around Eagle Pass, right on our next to our panhandle in Texas, in San Jose, and of course, look, Boise, Idaho. Look at that right there. You're gonna see that where these are where the major things that are happening. All right, so I kind of looked into it a little bit. Of course, we're having a bunch in Alaska too, right? So we are having there's a fault line. See it right there. If you guys are watching today, you can actually see the areas of activity that's happening with bigger quakes. Okay, so there's definitely some kind of movement. Something is going on. Now I know this happens every day. I know it does, and it's something that I'm not trying to scare anybody or anything like that, but just kind of be aware of what's happening and the mapping. And this is from the USGS. You can go to usgs.com, go look at it yourself if you want to, and you can kind of map everything. And it tells you, on the left, if you're looking at the left of the screen, it's telling you, 4.3, 4 point where and where exactly. And then when you click on it, it takes you right to that general area. All right. So, it's just a little, I'm going to learn you a little bit. And that's what I'm about. I'm here to kind of show you what's going on. So if you guys are starting to report more UFOs, UAPs in these general areas, this is a possibility of why. Okay. So I'm just kind of giving you the reason. This is a possibility of why. So this is something to put together with the puzzle that we always get with the abductions, the visuals, the CE1, the CE2, and the CE3s, with these UFOs right before an abduction, all right? So, and I'm just trying to kind of map you out of what's happening here. And we're just in January, February, March. Yeah, we're going to be hitting March here pretty soon, a few days. And, just kind of... keep a lookout at what's going on out there. Now, today's was just an update of what was happening with, of course, the earthquake, and then what was happening with Alien Strand Disclosure Project, Alien Strand Podcast, right? Our podcast will be moving from this platform. If you're watching us on Facebook, it will be moving from here. We're just totally going to eliminate it. I'm just going to go straight to YouTube and all the other channels, all right? So catch us there. Unfortunately, you won't be seeing us here. It'll be on X, YouTube, Twitch, all those other channels. Go catch us there. And I'll put a flyer out when my next podcast is going to be. I hope you support us. Just go to those pages and go watch us because I don't like to be interrupted. You know what I'm saying? When I'm trying to show you guys something or something that's important, they tend to interrupt everything, right? And these other platforms don't do it, right? And you know what I'm trying to say. So just kind of, if you can, watch us there. Go to our Patreon page. I hope you guys enjoy the Patreon. Like I said, we got some more podcasts coming up with Ms. June Diaz. We're going to be talking about almost like a reincarnation thing of paranormal stuff on the next one. Okay, so right now you can actually catch that last podcast for free on Patreon. So go to our Patreon, go check it out. It's there. Go see it. And I hope you guys enjoy that when she talks about Dr. Lear and how he brought those alien implants and he put them on her table and showed them to her, man. How cool is that, man? You get to listen to her story about how she told that, about the alien implants, all right? So, and she knew him very, very well, Dr. Lear. They passed away in 2014, I believe. So go catch that podcast. It's for free now. Go see it on Patreon. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Give us a thumbs up. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's little short podcast. I just kind of gave you some of my thoughts and updates of what's happening here on Alien Strand Podcast. All right. So give us a thumbs up, subscribe, go to our YouTube channel. Please hit a subscribe, like, go watch the middle part 1. It's there for free right now on our YouTube channel. Hope to see you guys there. We'll see you guys here in a couple of days. We'll have a couple more podcasts for you guys to see live. All right. And then we'll have another audio one with Ms. June Diaz that'll be coming out on Patreon. See you soon. All right. Talk to you later. Have a good day.